Day 4 of Washington Commanders training camp didn't deliver any single shocking headline, but it delivered something arguably more valuable. A clear, accumulating pattern of who's actually performing well right now. A key receiver made his return. A safety nobody's been talking about enough just kept making plays. And the kicking competition may have already tipped in one direction. Let's break it all down. Let's start with the injury report, because there's genuinely encouraging news here. Receiver Treylon Burks was back on the practice field and looked good doing it, a real relief given his extensive injury history. On the flip side, tight end John Bates is dealing with a hamstring strain that will keep him out for a few weeks. Though by all accounts he appeared to be in good spirits on the sideline, and given his size and overall profile, this doesn't appear to be a major long-term concern. Now let's get into the actual practice, starting with the quarterbacks. As expected this time of year, the defense continues holding a clear edge over the offense. Jaden Daniels looked sharp once again, continuing to build real confidence and command. The backup quarterback situation, though, showed some room for growth. Marcus Mariota tends to scramble outside the pocket more than you'd like to see at this stage, especially without pads on when stepping into throws should be the priority. Similarly, one of the other backup arms has shown a tendency to bail from clean pockets a bit too often as well. On defense, edge rusher Odafe Oweh continues living up to the hype, showing off exactly the kind of size and bend off the edge this roster hasn't had in a while, and he and fellow pass rusher Caleb Chasson appear to be pairing up nicely as a genuine 1-2 punch. Odafe also had some real battles in one-on-one pass rush reps against veteran tackle Laramie Tunsil throughout the day. No pads yet, so temper full expectations, but the competitive intensity between those two was a fun subplot to watch. At receiver, undrafted rookie Jaden Bradley continued backing up the offseason buzz surrounding him, showing off a size profile that genuinely stands out compared to the rest of this receiver room, even if he could still stand to add some additional muscle. Rookie Jalen Lane also had a genuinely strong day, connecting with Jaden Daniels on a perfectly placed sideline throw 15 to 20 yards downfield off a really nice route. Lane hadn't generated much off-season buzz, but he's shown real quickness both as a returner and now increasingly as a receiver, and if he can carve out a bigger receiving role to go with his return duties, that only helps his case for more playing time. Rookie Antonio Williams also picked up first-team reps today and continued to look solid, even if he too could benefit from adding a bit more mass to his frame. Defensive tackle Darren Payne had a genuinely strong day as well, looking like a version of himself reminiscent of his best form a few seasons back, though it's worth noting the offensive line's own early camp inexperience without pads certainly played a role in making that possible. Still, the underlying disruption was real to watch. At safety, Jeremy Reeves and Nick Cross drew the bulk of the first-team reps in both full-team and 7-on-7 work, with Will Harris rotating in as well. Reeves has been a name fans have hoped would finally break out into a full-time safety role rather than just a special teams specialist for years now. And that development still remains to be fully proven out once pads come on. But Nick Cross has quietly looked like one of the best players on this entire roster through these first several practices, picking up multiple pass breakups and playing consistently tight coverage. At one point, he delivered a clean, physical hit on Bill Krosky-Merritt after a short reception, which led to a little bit of good-natured jawing between the two afterward, exactly the kind of competitive energy you love to see building in camp. Elsewhere on defense, rookie linebacker Sonny Styles continues to impress in just his third or fourth NFL practice, nearly coming away with an interception on a pass intended for tight end Colson Yankoff, and coming close again later on a different throw that was ultimately completed for a modest gain. Veteran linebacker Frankie Louvu was seen making checks and communicating adjustments for the defense throughout, suggesting real early leadership responsibilities within this scheme. And cornerback Rasul Douglas, even without Trey Amos out there yet, looked like arguably the best cover corner on the roster today, breaking up a pass to Jalen Cropper alongside another strong rep from Nick Cross on a separate play. At tight end, Ben Sinnott had a mixed day. A drop on a short crossing route that had real room to run afterward. But he bounced back nicely with a genuinely acrobatic catch during a later 2-minute drill period, showing off real competitive resilience. The defense as a whole showed some genuinely exotic pre-snap disguises and movement throughout 7-on-7 work, generating consistent pressure looks that, with pads on, would likely have resulted in real sacks on several occasions. Linebacker Leo Chenal, in particular, found himself unblocked multiple times over the course of the day, and safety Quandre Knight delivered maybe the single most crowd-pleasing individual play of the entire practice, coming down with a diving interception after undercutting a route intended for backup quarterback Sam Hartman and receiver River Craycraft. A genuinely impressive individual athletic play. Now, let's get to the kicking competition, because it may have just been decided, at least for today. The day opened with a short field goal drill, where Drew Stevens went 2 for 3 while Jake Moody went a perfect 3 for 3. Practice then closed with a longer drill starting at 32 yards and moving back 5 yards after each attempt. Stevens connected on 5 of 6, including the 3 longest kicks of the day, while Moody once again went a perfect 6 for 6. Add it all up, and Stevens finished 7 for 7 overall, while Moody finished a flawless 9 for 9. Sure, Stevens clearly has the stronger leg with his kicks traveling noticeably farther, but at the end of the day, perfect accuracy across 9 total attempts is an incredibly hard thing to argue with. Moody has to be considered the current favorite in this competition based purely on today's results. Stepping back to look at the broader team period takeaways, receivers were consistently finding separation throughout the day. This front seven continues showing real disciplined gap shooting and stopping the run before it can develop, and Nick Cross in particular continues covering an enormous amount of ground in coverage. Overall, this defense looked genuinely sharp across the board today. So here's where things stand after day 4 of Commanders training camp. A key receiver back on the field after battling injury. A rookie linebacker in Sonny Styles continuing to flash despite limited professional experience. A safety in Nick Cross quietly building one of the strongest overall camp resumes on this entire roster. And a kicking competition that, at least for now, appears to be trending in Jake Moody's favor thanks to sheer accuracy. So tell us, has Nick Cross been the most underrated standout of training camp so far in your eyes? And do you think Jake Moody has truly locked up the kicking job with this performance? Let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update as training camp continues to unfold. There's a lot more to track in the days ahead, and we'll be right back here with the next update very soon. Hail to the Commanders!